Hey TQF family, Rianna Mirror Hunt here, just giving you a little bit of a weekend recap from Brands Hatch. Started off Friday, we were practicing only on the Indy loop, so you know, I only got to learn 4 corners of the 12 that I had to learn on qualifying, but I made sure that day that I kind of set all my sector 1 really consistently. Friday was about learning sector 1, being close to my teammate in time. I ended the day 2/10 off him, which was awesome, and also setting up the car so we had a stable base for our race day on Saturday. Woke up on Saturday morning, little grey clouds, you know, it'd been raining all night, so it kind of put the nerves up a little bit, but you know, I was ready for the challenge. Knew what I had to improve on in sector 1, but then had to also learn sector 2 and sector 3 in qualifying. So the practice in the morning, I got an in and an out lap just to sight the track before we went into the qualification. The GT3s qualified before us. Unfortunately, there was a massive accident. I think the throttle got stuck on at the back end of the circuit, and they had to do barrier repairs for about 3 hours. So it was a little bit of a nervous wait, but it did mean that the track was completely dry before I got on. So it made me feel a little bit better about the situation, filled me with a bit of confidence. I went out right behind my teammate, Mikey, and we did about 3 laps before there was a red flag. They just weren't happy with the barrier repair, and we then went out. Unfortunately, I didn't get the best of gaps, and did go a little bit faster, but only enough for P3. So I was a little bit disappointed, but considering it was the first time I ever saw the track, I think I did a pretty good job. We then had the sprint race. I was a little bit too soft on the first lap, losing 2 positions, and unfortunately I couldn't get them back through the race. So ended in P5. I was a little bit disappointed, but I knew that I just had to switch off and get focused on this endurance race. Jodie started the car in P4, and we had about a 30-second gap to the car in front when she brought it in. So all I could do was push as hard as I could. I knew in the 15 minutes I had, I wasn't gonna get 30 seconds, but I needed to do everything I could. I had a Mercedes right behind me, one of the pros that does British GT, and I was defending him for pretty much 10 minutes of that 15-minute stint. He did unfortunately get past me, but I made a couple passes and we finished that race P6. It wasn't the day that we were hoping for, but considering the circumstances, I feel like I did as best as I could. I knew what I had to improve on, so I knew I had to reset my head for Sunday. You know, it wasn't all over, you know, we still had 1 more day to go. So woke up on Sunday, fresh head, did some video and data in the morning with Matt, and I knew exactly what I had to do when I hopped into the end of the endurance race. So Jodie qualified the car and she did the sprint race and the start of the endurance race, and then I just did the endurance race on Sunday. When she handed the car over, we were in P3, and then when I came out the pits, we had jumped somebody, so we were in P2 in class, which was really good. I knew that I had to up my pace because I was out with all the pros, so I made some really good improvements from Saturday's race, and was lapping only 4/10 slower than the pros. I wanted to be just as fast as them, but with the lack of track experience, I was pretty happy with my pace. We were 20-second gap when I first went out and finished the race with 15-second gap. So we finished P2, a really strong turnaround from the previous day, you know, bringing home silverware, which is always what you want. 2 outings in the UK and bringing home silverware 3 times. So I am really impressed with my progress, and I just can't thank TQF enough for their help. None of this would be possible without you guys, so massive thank you, and let's see where we go from here. Centerton is in 2 weeks time, so yeah, thanks again.